What's up, YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here, and it is Cleveland Browns game day! Thursday night football at First Energy Stadium between the 1-1 New York Jets and your 0-1 Cleveland Browns. Now, before I get into, you might be confused as to why I'm doing another live stream. Well, it's because I accidentally deleted the live stream I just did a few minutes ago, and also the screen just froze at the end, so I decided to get rid of that live stream and redo it. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to start out with the part before I get into the game preview for tonight, or the team that I don't forgive, or even the I'm confused part. So kind of abandoning the title a little bit, I want to start out with something a little bit different, but still on the topic of the Cleveland Browns. But not just the Browns. It's with the whole AFC. I'm talking about division realignment. Here's what I think should happen. Indianapolis Colts, you move to the AFC North. Why the hell, or heck I should say, sorry. Why the heck are the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC South with the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Texans, and Jacksonville Jaguars? Indianapolis is not in the South. They're just not. It doesn't make any sense. So you move the Colts to the AFC North, then you move the Ravens to the AFC East, because the Ravens, Baltimore's not really in the North. So you move the Ravens to the AFC East with the Patriots, the Bills, and the Jets. Why did I not say Dolphins? Well, because you move them to the AFC South with the Jaguars, the Texans, and the Titans. Now, that might destroy some rivalries. That, I get it. But I don't really see any rivalries, a lot of rivalries. The main rivalries I see in the AFC are Jaguars-Texans, Jaguars-Titans, Patriots, Steelers, that's a big one. Bengals, Steelers, somewhat. Bengals, Ravens, that was a rivalry. I wouldn't say it's as much of a rivalry now. Bills, Jets, I think is a rivalry. I don't see... Now, as a Browns fan, you can call me crazy for saying this, but I don't think Browns Steelers is a rivalry right now. I'm sure there are Browns fans who are looking at me going, what are you, from the planet Mars? Are you a Martian? Are you from the planet Jupiter? Are you from the moon? No. Hear me out. In order for me to say that Steelers-Browns is a rivalry, both teams need to be competitive and, constantly in the playoffs, and the games need to mean something. When was the last time Browns-Steelers actually had something on the line, like playoff positioning or anything? When was the last time? Can you tell me? No, you can't. So even though week 1 this year was, competitive between the Browns and Steelers, for me the rivalry has been dead. I mean, come on. Ben Roethlisberger is 22-2, 2-1 now in his career against the Browns. And he has the most wins at First Energy Stadium, 11. To me, I just don't see Browns-Steelers as a rivalry. Now, if the Browns are on the upswing, this rivalry could be a renewed rivalry. But as of right now, I don't see Browns-Steelers as a rivalry. I don't see, because the Browns, let me just generalize that. I don't see the Browns as having a rivalry with anybody in the AFC North right now. Until they actually get competitive again, I don't think the Browns really have a rivalry. Now again, loyal, diehard Browns fans, which I consider myself to be one, but I'm sure there are Browns fans out there that are going, Josh, Why are you so darn stupid? The Browns have rivalries with all three teams: the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Steelers. To me, they don't have they're neat. The Browns are not don't have a rivalry with Baltimore, Cincinnati, or Pittsburgh right now because they've been so bad. But into now, which leads me into the team I can't forgive, which is from all the way back in 2014 when which is like the last time we actually had a chance at making the playoffs. It's the Indianapolis Colts. Sorry, they're one team I will never like. Never. That's also because I like the Jacksonville Jaguars and they're in the AFC South. Although, as I just expressed, they should not be in the AFC South. But that's beside the point. The reason I can't forgive the Colts from 2014 is because the Browns were in position to make to potentially be a wild card team in the NFL playoffs for the first time since 2002. Come on. And we were actually doing well that season. And we were winning that game too. But then Andrew Luck executes a game-winning drive and leads the Colts down the field for a victory, 25-24. Pretty much ending the hopes of the Browns making the playoffs. But here's what I don't understand. And that's part of the reason why I made the end of the title of this video be called I'm Confused. Because the last time we almost made the playoffs was 2014. Who was the head coach of the Browns at that time? Mike Pettin. Who was the quarterback? Brian Hoyer. Why are they both gone? I don't get it. Like, we brought in Hugh Jackson, okay? You know what his record is in the past 2 years? In the past 3 seasons now? 1-31, 32, and 1. How does he get a third year? Don't twist my words. I'm not saying that the Browns should have a press conference and go, "Oh, Hugh Jackson fired. We're gonna get a new coach." No. I am not saying that. What I'm saying is, why did we not keep Mike Pettin? He almost led the team to the playoffs, for God's sakes. Like, there was a 1 week where we were actually winning the AFC North with Mike Pettin as the head coach. How come he only got 2 seasons? Maybe it was only 1, I don't remember. But how come Hugh Jackson, who, as I said, has a record of 32, and 1, how come he's in his 3rd year with the team, but Mike Pettin, who almost led us to the playoffs, only got maybe a year or 2? Can you explain that to me? I don't get it. But of course, the main portion of this video is Browns Jets. Or no, I said that wrong. Jets Browns. Because if I said Browns Jets, it would make it sound like the game's in New York at Met. Actually, take that back. That would make it sound like the game's in New Jersey. Hold on 1 second. I have to use the bathroom. My apologies for that. But, yes, it is Browns-Jets. No, it's Jets-Browns. Because, again, if you say Browns-Jets, that makes it sound like the game is at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which it is not. It will be at First Energy Stadium on just in downtown Cleveland. Yeah. And we have a new kicker. Because Zane Gonzalez left 8 points on the board, which could have potentially helped us. Which could, if he had made the dang field goals and extra points, we could be 1-0-1 right now. But no. He missed the field goals. So instead, we're 0-1-1. Yay! But here's the thing. Once we drafted Baker Mayfield with the first overall pick, and then the schedule came out showing that the Jets would be coming to Cleveland, and I should say, and the Jets drafted Sam Darnold with the third overall pick. Once the schedule came out and this game was on it, people everywhere were saying, "Oh, this is going to be that Week 3 Thursday night game between the Jets and Browns is going to be the battle of Baker Mayfield against Sam Darnold." Well, that's clearly not going to happen because Hugh Jackson has come out and said that Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback. Now, the Browns have a history of doing this. They passed over Sam Darnold, and now he's going against the Browns tonight. And in the past, this has happened. Just last year, actually, the Browns had the 10th overall pick, and were in a position to draft Deshaun Watson, the quarterback from Clemson, who had just beaten Alabama in the national championship game. But instead, they trade the pick to Houston. The Texans draft Deshaun Watson. And then the Browns go down to Houston, and Deshaun Watson beats them. Oh, you want another example? Fine, I'll give you one. The Browns had, I don't remember how many years ago. The year before last year's draft. When Houston took Deshaun Watson. Here we go. So the Browns had the number 2 overall pick, and were in position to draft Carson Wentz or Jared Goff, depending on what the Rams did. But what happened? Philadelphia traded with the Browns, got the number 2 overall pick, then they took Carson Wentz. Who did the Browns play on the road to open the season? None other than Carson Wentz. And what happened? Let me think. Oh, I know. Carson Wentz went out and beat the Browns, pretty much laughing in their face. Then again, I'm not sure Carson Wentz or Deshaun Watson would have done well in the Browns' offense. Here's why. Because the Browns are stubborn. Here's what I mean. Instead of looking at the quarterback and determining what his skill set is and figuring out what he can do well and what he can't do, what throws he can make and what throws he can't make, the Browns just go, here's our offense, we're going to put you in it. Don't care if you can't do it well. That's not the way to do it. If you draft a quarterback, how about you design the offense to fit his skill set? I'll give you an example of a team doing that and actually succeeding, at least for a season. The Tennessee Titans. They drafted Marcus Mariota with the number 2 overall pick. Jameis had been drafted by Tampa Bay with the first overall pick, that same draft. But anyway, the Titans drafted Marcus Mariota, and instead of saying to Mariota, hey, we don't care what you can do well or not. We're just going to put you in this offense. Good luck. No. Tennessee went out and designed their offense to fit his skill set. Figure out what he can do well. Okay, let's do more of those type of plays. Oh, here's some things you can't do well. All right, let's not do those type of plays. So the Titans were actually smart about it. And they made the playoffs last season. Beat the Kansas City Chiefs. In Kansas City. Marcus Mariota even threw a pass to himself. And for at least the first half, it looked like they could hang around with the New England Patriots in the divisional round. Speaking of the Patriots, Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl rings. However, he's not the reason why the Patriots have those rings. Let me give you some examples. Super Bowl 51 last year. Yes, he's the one that led the Patriots on the comeback. I'll give him credit for that. But he's not the one who scored the game-winning touchdown. That was James White. Let's see. Super Bowl 49. Did he make the game-winning pass? Did he win the game for the Patriots? No. It was Malcolm Butler. And here's why I think the Seahawks threw it on that play. They were probably expecting the Patriots to be in a run defense because they had Marshawn Lynch and they were so close to the end zone. So they threw it to try and throw off the Patriots. That's my reasoning for it. Let's see. I don't remember. I know the Patriots beat the Eagles in Super Bowl 39. Don't remember that one. But Super Bowl 38. The only reason the Patriots won that game is because Adam Vinatieri made a field goal. Otherwise, the Patriots would not have won that game, and the Panthers would have a Super Bowl ring because they got destroyed by the Broncos in Super Bowl 50. So, just wanted to put that out there. But, now to the main portion of this video. Thursday Night Football, Jets at Browns. Yes. So, what I want to see from Tyrod Taylor tonight is can he continue to balance between being a game manager and being a quarterback. Week 1, he was too much of a game manager. Week 2, he's starting to find at times he was a little bit of too much of a quarterback, not enough of a game manager. So it's been a little bit out of balance. Tonight, I want him to try and find that balance. So, week 1, against the Steelers, specifically down the stretch, instead of taking chances and throwing deep passes, which there were some opportunities to make those deep passes, although on the one play, he did throw a deep pass to Josh Gordon, who is now with the Patriots, but he got intercepted by Sutton. Look, I get it. But still, too often down the stretch in that game, which is a 21 tie, he was too much of a game manager. Instead of going for the 10-yard pass play or the 10-yard, maybe the 15-yard pass play, he was settling for the 3-yard run or the 5-yard pass play. Trying, which I understand, but at some point, you gotta take a chance. That's just my feeling about it. You gotta take a chance at some point. You can't keep settling going 5-yard check down, 5-yard check down, 3-yard check down, hand it off for 2 yards. But speaking of, and then last week against the Saints, I loved the deep pass that he threw to Antonio Callaway. Zane Gonzalez is the reason we lost that game last week. He left 8 points on the board. We should be 1-0-1. But instead, we're 0-1-1. Thank you, Zane Gonzalez. Bye. You're no longer our kicker. Let's see how this new guy goes. I think his name's Greg Joseph. Hasn't played a snap in the NFL. And he's played his whole career in Florida. Welcome to snowy Cleveland. Although tonight it's not going to be snowing, so yeah. But Emmanuel Ogbah is going to be out tonight. So Myles Garrett will probably get double teamed by the Jets a fair amount, I would think, if they're smart. So if Myles Garrett does get double teamed by the Jets O-line, who's going to be the other pass rusher that steps up and creates pressure on Sam Darnold and the Jets running backs? Who's going to be the one that steps up? That's what I want to know. Who's going to do it? And who is Denzel Ward going to be matched up with tonight? Because week 1 he was against a speedster in Antonio Brown, and he did a fairly good job. Intercepted Ben Roethlisberger twice. Yes, he gave up a touchdown to Antonio Brown, but other than that, he did really well. But then last week, he did not so well against Michael Thomas. Thomas had 12 catches, I believe, for 98 yards. So, and he gave up the touchdown that tied it at 18. So, it does concern me a little bit. So, who will the Browns, which of the Jets receivers will the Browns put Denzel Ward on? Jermaine Kearse? Maybe a Nunwa? Robbie Anderson? I want to know. But back to the offensive side of the ball. What I would love to see the Browns do is establish the run game early. Not just for this game, but for the rest of the season. Hold on a second. Cleveland Browns schedule. Hold on a second.
Here's the upcoming schedule for the Browns between today and December 30th, 2018.
So here's what they need to do. They need to continue to establish the running game. Tonight against the Jets. September 30th at the Raiders. October 7th at home against Baltimore. October 14th at home against Los Angeles, the Chargers. October 21st at Tampa Bay. October 28th at the Steelers. November 4th at home against Kansas City, the Chiefs. November 11th at home against the Falcons. November 25th at the Cincinnati Bengals. December 2nd trying at the Houston Texans. December 9th at home against the Carolina Panthers. December 15th at the Denver Broncos. December 23rd, home against the Cincinnati Bengals. And December 30th at the Baltimore Ravens. In each of those games, whether it is Baker Mayfield starting at quarterback or it's Tyrod Taylor, I want the Browns to, early in the game, establish the run game. And then do passes off that. Use Carlos Hyde and Nick Chubb as your running backs. But I'm not saying take Duke Johnson completely out of the fold. No way. But use Hyde and Chubb as your power running backs. And what you can do with Duke Johnson is, you can have him line up as a running back and use him as a traditional running back, or have him line up next to Baker Mayfield or Tyrod Taylor, whoever is starting. And, you can do a draw play like that. Or have you do that same thing and use him as a receiver. Or, you put him in the slot as an actual receiver. So there's a lot of different things you could do with Duke Johnson. So that's why I call him a hybrid. He's traditionally a running back. I get that. But don't just use him as a running back. He's shown that he can be a great wide receiver. He proved that in 2014 against the Titans, I think. Speaking of which, I still don't get why we got rid of Mike Patton. Because the Browns came back from a 28-3 deficit. Oh, does that sound familiar, Atlanta Falcons? 28-3, Super Bowl 51 against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots? I thought that might sound familiar. But the Browns came back and won. And again, they were vying for a playoff position in 2014. If only they had beat the stupid Indianapolis Colts. Whatever. But I don't get why Mike Penn got fired. Because as much as I like Hugh Jackson, as the head coach, his record, again, 1-32-1. I don't get why he's still the head coach, but whatever. we've tied and lost by 3. So there's been improvement, but until the Browns start winning on a consistent basis, still gonna go by that. I'm saying I don't understand why we got rid of Mike Penn. And why did we get rid of Brian Hoyer either? Brian Hoyer was the last quarterback to lead us who had a winning record with the Browns. And he was the quarterback in 2014 that not only led the Browns to the comeback win in Tennessee, but nearly led us to the playoffs. If only we had beat the Indianapolis Colts. So Indianapolis, I will never forgive you for that loss. Never. Quick side note, on an NBA topic for a minute, I will never forgive the 2007 San Antonio Spurs for sweeping the Cavaliers in the 2007 NBA Finals. I will never forgive you for that, San Antonio. Although Tim Duncan's one of my favorite players of all time, I will never forgive him for that loss. Just saying. So, that's what the Browns really need to do tonight. Run the football. And as I said, since Myles Garrett is probably going to get a lot of the attention tonight, what pass rusher is going to step up for the Browns to create pressure on Darnold from the other side? If the Jets slide their protection towards Myles Garrett, who's going to be the pass rusher on the other side that gets after Darnold? I want to know that. Hopefully I get my answer tonight. But my prediction is that the Browns win by a field goal. Hopefully this new guy, I think his name's Greg Joseph, or it might be Brian Joseph. I don't remember. I think it's Greg, though. Actually is able to kick field goals. I'm not sure why we got rid of Phil Dawson, though. So, yeah. But this is a good week for football. You got Jets, Browns tonight on Thursday Night Football. Then you have 49ers, Chiefs in Kansas City on Sunday. That's going to be a great game. Battle of two fantastic quarterbacks. I mean, come on. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 6 touchdowns last week in Pittsburgh. Impressive. Let's see. What other good games do we have? Let's see. Titans, Jaguars. How will Blake Bortles play a week after beating the Patriots? And will the Jaguars change how they play if Leonard Fournette is back? Because last week, against the Patriots, the Jaguars let Blake Bortles throw it all over the yard. And he threw it for over 300 yards, I believe. And Keelan Cole had one of the best catches had the catch of the year last week. So, will the Jaguars go back to, keeping Bortles contained and relying on that run game? I want to know that. So, there's just Cowboys-Seahawks. Will the Cowboys be able to take their defense on the road to the Pacific Northwest and beat Russell Wilson in Seattle? Russell Wilson has no offensive line, so he's running for his life. So, can the Seahawks find their offense? There's just Sunday Night Football. Who is it? Patriots-Lions in Detroit. Will the Lions actually play defense and somehow slow down this Patriots offense? Monday Night Football. Can Pittsburgh finally get their first win against a 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers team? But back to Jets-Browns. Who's Denzel Ward going to be matched up with for the Jets? Will he be matched up with Jermaine Kearse? Will he be matched up with Quincy Enunwa? Will he be matched up with Robbie Anderson? Who is he going to be matched up against? And then Jarvis Landry was limited in practice because of a knee injury. And since the Browns traded Josh Gordon for a 5th round pick, of course it's to the Patriots, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But since the Browns traded Josh Gordon, who's going to step up as the wide receiver aside from Jarvis Landry? And it's not because I don't like Jarvis Landry. It's just that I want somebody else. It's just because I want another receiver to be able to step up and take some of the pressure off Jarvis Landry. Will it be David Njoku? Will it be Antonio Callaway? Who's it going to be? But getting back to the Josh Gordon thing, first off, why did you trade him to the New England Patriots? You saw how they struggled last week, how their receivers struggled last week against the Jaguars corners. So why do you give them a big physical wide receiver like that who can potentially help them win their 6th Super Bowl? Why? And how do you only get a 5th round pick for him? Although I think there is something else involved. It's something like if Josh Gordon is not on the field for 10 games, the Patriots give the Browns something else. Or it's that the Browns give the Patriots something else. It's something like that. I'm not totally sure about the details. But I've heard analysts and from both ESPN and NFL Network say that Josh Gordon is a top 10 wide receiver, which I would agree with. I will not put Josh Gordon in the top 3 wide receivers. Maybe I would if he could get his head out of his butt and stay away from the bad stuff that got him suspended for a few years. And then this season, he checks himself into a rehab facility and then doesn't come back to practice for a while. And, he was a bad apple, I get it. But, I don't know. Also, speaking of big wide receivers, Dez Bryant, where are you going to play this season? Or are you going to play? I mean, you turned down a contract offer from the Baltimore Ravens. You met with Hugh Jackson, and it looked like you were all in and wanting to come to Cleveland. And then we offer you the contract, and you go, no, I don't want that. And then on Sunday Night Football, when the Giants played the Cowboys in Dallas, well, no, not actually in Dallas, in Arlington at AT&T Stadium, also known as Jerry's World, we see you, Dez Bryant, sitting next to Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, who you got cut from. So what's going on there, buddy? What's going on with you? But I can't get past this whole Sam Darnold thing. Like, will the Browns regret not picking Darnold number 1 overall? Will this be another case of the Browns passing over a quarterback and that quarterback playing against the Browns and beating them? Like I said, they passed over Deshaun Watson. He went out and beat them. They passed over Carson Wentz. He went out and beat them. So, that does have me concerned. And the other thing I want to get back to, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Browns are stubborn with designing their offense. They draft a quarterback and just go, here, go play in this offense. Don't care if it doesn't fit your skill set. I'll give you an example. Colt McCoy. I think he had the potential to be a good quarterback for the Browns as a starter. You might disagree, and you might think I'm a Martian from the planet Mars. But that's just my feeling, is that he could have been a good quarterback. Here's the problem. For God's sakes, he led Texas to the BCS National Championship game against Alabama. But here's the problem. The Browns didn't design their offense to fit his skill set. They just said, okay, Colt McCoy, we drafted you. Now we're going to put you in this offense, which we don't care if your skill set fits it or not. Here's the opposite. And I might have said this before. If I'm repeating myself, It's just to reemphasize the point, which is that Tennessee drafted Marcus Mariota. Did they just put him in an offense and set in some random offense and go, okay, here you go do your thing? No, they looked at Mariota and figured out, okay, he's good at these things, and he's not good at these things. He can make this type of throw, but he can't make this type of throw. So let's design our offense to fit his skill set. And look what happened. Tennessee made it to the playoffs as a wild card team, beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead, and in addition, Mariota threw a pass to himself. And then for at least the first quarter, it looked like the Titans were going to be able to hang around with the Patriots in the divisional round. And of course, then the Patriots avalanche began. But my point is, the Titans had success last season because they designed their offense to fit Marcus Mariota's skill set. Why can't the Cleveland Browns do the same thing? Come on, you wouldn't have as many you wouldn't have gone through as many head coaches and as many quarterbacks as you've gone through. Come on. You got to draw a line in the sand at some point. Seriously. And I'll admit, I wish Baker Mayfield was starting this game. And then we could see Darnold against Mayfield. And did the Browns make a bad decision? Or, yeah. But that's not the case. So, as I said earlier, since Tyrod is the starter, balance game manager with quarterback. Don't be too much of this, which is game manager. Because that's what you were week 1. And that's why it tied. We tied. Also, the Steelers were offside in overtime on the overtime kick by Zane Gonzalez. But that doesn't mean Zane Gonzalez would have missed the field goal anyway. Wouldn't have missed the field goal even if the Steelers weren't offside. But, you know. And then week 2, there were times when I thought he was a little bit too much of a quarterback. Like, even though I loved the Antonio Callaway deep pass, maybe there were a few other times where he should have, taken the 5-yard pass, tried for the 5-yard pass instead of, the 20-yard pass. So I blame him a little bit for the 21-18 game loss against the Saints in New Orleans. But my majority of the blame, almost 99.9% of my blame, of the blame for last week's loss against New Orleans, goes to Zane Gonzalez. There is no wind in the Superdome. How do you leave 8 points on the board? 2 for 4 on field goals, and 2 missed points after touchdowns, otherwise known as PATs. How? Okay, so it came out later that he had a groin injury. I get it. Groin injuries can be tough. But in this case, I say, no excuse. You should still make those kicks. So, I say to Zane Gonzalez, bye. I still don't get why we got rid of Billy Cundiff, though. I thought he was a pretty good kicker. But, yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed the pregame video that I did with Gangrene David yesterday, because I enjoyed doing it with him. Doing the video, I should say. Doing the video with him. And there will be a post-game video tomorrow. But tonight, I will be, as usual, when I'm at Browns games, I will be posting little snippets of in-game footage. I might do a halftime live stream at the game tonight. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to promise that. But we'll see. This is the first time the Browns are favored since, let's see if I can find it. Hold on a second. Yes, here we go. Browns. Browns -3, so I guess that means they're the favorite. Versus Jets. Favored at home for the first time since week 14 of the 2015 season. Let's see. Hey Siri, who did the Cleveland Browns play in week 14 of 2015? Let's see if Siri knows this. Be right with you.
Looking for the Cleveland Browns. The Browns played the Redskins on August 13, 2015 at 2000 hours.
So it was actually on August 15. And they lost at home against, I hate saying this team's name, but they lost against the Washington Redskins. I hate that team name. The NFL needs to force Washington to change their name and logo. I hate that logo. I hate the team name. Just saying. But, as I said earlier in the video, I can never forgive the Indianapolis Colts from 2014, ever. Never. That's why I don't like the Colts. Every time the Browns play the Colts, I want the Browns to beat them. Ever since 2014. Also in 2007, actually. I also don't like the Colts for 2007. Because in 2007, when the Browns had a Monday night football game against the Giants, a Monday night home game against the Giants, a Monday night road game at Buffalo, and a Monday night road game at Philadelphia. And I think they had a Thursday night game against Denver. But, so it might have been the year before, or the year after, one of the two. But, the Browns had beaten the San Francisco 49ers at home, and they were tied with Tennessee, and if the Colts beat the Titans, then the Browns would go to the playoffs. But if the Titans beat the Colts, then the Titans would go to the playoffs. And I think the winner played the Chargers. At that time, it was the San Diego Chargers. I wish they were still in San Diego. Stupid Dean Spanos. But anyway, so there was a portion of the Browns stadium that was not only rooting for the Browns, but they were rooting for the Colts. Because, number one, like I said, if the Colts beat the Browns, or beat the Titans, then the Browns would go to the playoffs. For the first time since 2002. Although they lost that 2002 wildcard game against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. But anyway. So, all the Colts needed to do was beat the Titans in 2000. At home in 2007. Let's see if they did. 2007 Indianapolis Colts schedule. Let's see if Siri can do this. I'll just be a moment.
Looking for the Indianapolis
Yep.
Colts. Here are the scores for the Colts between January 6, 2007 and December 30th, 2007.
All the Colts needed to do was beat the Titans at home on Sunday Night Football on December 30th, 2007. The Colts had won the division. They were 13-3. Titans were 10-6. Did the Colts beat the Titans? No. The Titans beat the Colts 16-10. So the Browns did not go to the playoffs. So, yeah. So, Indianapolis, I will never forgive you for 2014 when you actually beat the Browns in Cleveland 25-24, and I can never forgive you for losing to the Titans in 2007 16-10. All you needed to do was beat the Titans. But of course you couldn't do that. So, yeah. So whoever the Colts are playing this week, Please beat them. Oh, they're playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and Carson Wentz is coming back in Philadelphia. So Carson Wentz and Philadelphia, this is a message from a Cleveland Browns fan. Please beat the crap out of the Indianapolis Colts. I want the Colts to lose every single game this season. Just saying. That's how much I dislike them. Yeah. I wish we were playing the Colts in Cleveland this season, but we're not. If we were, I would go to that game, and I would be so anti-Colts. Because I just don't like the Colts because of 2014 and 2007. 7 years apart. Thanks, Indianapolis. But, like I said, my prediction for tonight's game between the Jets and Browns from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, the score will be 24... No, I'm going to change my score prediction. I said my score prediction in my video with Gangrene David was going to be 24-21. I'm going to change it. 27-21. Yes, 27-21. So, Browns still get the victory. This is the first time I actually think the Browns have a legitimate chance at winning. I didn't give the Browns a chance at week 1 at home against the Steelers. I'm going to be perfectly honest. And I didn't think the Browns had a chance week 2 on the road in New Orleans. I just didn't. So, the Browns have surprised me. So, I'm a little bit nervous about picking the Browns to win. Should I be picking the Jets to win? I don't know. I'm excited about this game because I think the Browns are gonna win, but I'm nervous that I'm all in on the Browns tonight, and I'm just afraid that it's all gonna backfire on me tonight. I don't know. I'm concerned about it. But this is a game you need to win. You've got the national spotlight on you. You're the only two teams playing, the Jets and the Browns. Go out there and show the rest of the NFL that you are a legitimate team this season. That's all I want. And you've proved you're a legitimate team in the last 2 games by tying with the Steelers and losing by 3 to the Saints. But go out and prove the Jets aren't that good of a team. They're coming off, yes, they beat the Lions soundly in week 1 in Detroit on Monday Night Football. But last to the Dolphins, 20-12. So Browns, go out and take care of business and beat the Saints. Beat the Jets. Hashtag beat the Jets. Beat the Jets. Don't let the Jets take flight tonight. Don't do it. Also, 2 former Browns will be coming back tonight. Isaiah Crowell and Buster Screen. So, I wonder what type of receptions both players will get. Maybe they were with the Jets last season. I don't remember. But, like I said, if my major key to this game, the Browns need to establish that running game. Run the ball heavily with Nick Chubb and Carlos Hyde, and then do passes off of that. But again, don't just do play action passes because you don't want to be too predictable. Do other types of passes, but establish that run game early and often. Make the Jets respect your ability to run the ball. And then, once you run the ball and you'll get those linebackers and safeties and corners cheating up, like, closer to the ball, and that will allow you to get those deep passes to Jarvis Landry, Antonio Callaway, and David Njoku. But like I said, Jarvis Landry will probably be a little bit limited tonight because he has a knee injury. So somebody else needs to step up at the as a receiver tonight. I want it to be a David Njoku. He's a good tight end, big, physical, not like Rob Gronkowski. I'm not going to put him in that. I'm not putting him in that discussion. But he's a good tight end. He's scored a few touchdowns last season, and he's already. But and he played well in this year's preseason. But it seems like he hasn't really been featured in the offense, and I don't like that, because if you rely just on your receivers and your running backs, the defense isn't going to respect the tight end. He'll be open, and Tyrod Taylor will be like, oh, double coverage. Let's throw it there instead. Oh, man, it's intercepted, and it's going the other way for a pick six. Throw it to David Njoku. He is a good tight end. You traded up in the draft to get him. So, use him. So, those are my keys. Run the ball. Get David Njoku involved. Tyrod needs to continue to balance out being a game manager and a quarterback. And who's going to step up and pressure Darnold if Myles Garrett gets double teamed? And who will Denzel Ward cover tonight? So that's going to do it for this video. Hope you liked it. If you did, punch that like button like a UFC fighter. But you don't have to. But I would like you to. But this is Unger to the Max signing off by saying, go Cavs, go Blue Jackets, and go Browns. Beat the Jets, and let's beat the Raiders next week. By the way, this is the Raiders' final season in Oakland. Next year, they'll probably be in San Antonio, and then the year after, they will be the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll talk about that more later. But this is Unger to the Max, signing off. Salute!